What's going on, guys? This is MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
And we are back. It's March 5th. Damn, this year's going by quick, huh?
I know, it's already going to be, spring's coming around the corner, and then summer, and then,
March 5th, 2019. We are fresh off of UFC 235, Jones versus Smith. That was this past Saturday. Today it's Tuesday night right now. Great weekend of fights. I mean, they really only had the one big card, but I mean, I think everybody's anticipating it the whole entire weekend, and I think the card delivered.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion, it delivered.
Yeah,
like I got
the prelims were exciting.
The whole card, yeah, prelims were exciting. The whole card, let's just obviously just get right into it, man. It was a stacked card from top to bottom. I think we talked about it in terms of it, the reasons why I speculated why it was stacked, and I'm glad it was stacked because these type of fights delivered. They're great matchups the entire way. Prelims are amazing. Prelim main event on ESPN Plus was amazing with Stevens and Zabit. But the whole card delivered, man. It was a great card. I think it was a sold out crowd in Vegas, right? They brought in like around 400 or 4 million gate and big attendance. Where do you want to start on this, man? It's a prelim card kicked off with Diego Sanchez and Mickey Gall. That was an ESPN card. I mean, what would you say? Diego Sanchez turning back the clock, defeating Mickey Gall.
This is his second victory in a row. I think his first finish since 2011.
Has it been that long? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's been 8 years. I think the last time he finished someone was an Ultimate finale with Matt Riddle for all the pro wrestling fans who are watching or listening.
Who's a big time pro wrestler now.
Yeah. It's been 8 years since he finished the fight, and Mickey Gall's always been a big guy for 155.
Yeah.
He looked really big against Diego. I picked Mickey Gall in this fight, and Diego Sanchez.
We both did.
He put the pressure on Mickey Gall and took him down, had him mount. He had every position he had was a dominant position. And then in the second round, Mickey Gall just gassed out. I don't know if it was because of the weight cut or because Diego Sanchez is that good.
Yeah, from what it seems like, he had a bad weight cut, right?
Yeah. He ended up finishing him in the second round.
Yeah. I mean, props to Diego, man. He's still doing it. UFC, I think, TUF 1 winner.
Before Forrest Griffin.
Yeah. The first season, TUF winner. I think he won it at 85, right?
Yeah. Which is
crazy, man.
Against Kenny Flynn.
Yeah. Those. Yeah. I remember those. That was a long time ago, man. But yeah, he picked up a win over Mickey Gall. I think he landed like a knee to the chest area and just knocked the wind out of him, and then just
choked him out.
Choked him out, man. I mean, big win for him. I don't know where Mickey Gall goes from here. I would say this would probably be the end of the road for him. Maybe you probably give him one more. Probably go 170 if the weight cut's that bad for you. I know he called out Diego thinking that it was going to be a big name that, as at the end of his career that he could, get a bump from, but it didn't turn out well.
Yeah. I mean, he looked really bad. It was really a showcase fight for Diego.
Yeah. Now, do you think it was a weight cut or do you think it was also a skill set and experience?
I think it was a little bit of both. Yeah. I think Diego, seasoned veteran, experienced, and I don't think he let a prospect like Mickey Gall get into his head or make him question himself. I think
he rose to the occasion.
He fought a perfect fight. I think in a lot of ways set the blueprint on how to beat Mickey Gall, just pressure him and wear him out that way.
Yeah. Cody Stamann picking up a win over Alejandro Perez. That was a good fight. And then you had Johnny Walker. Short notice fight for him over Misha Kirkunov. TKO in the first round, 36 seconds into the fight. And on top of that, injures himself in his post-fight celebration and trying to do the worm and ended up dislocating his shoulder. From what we gathered, the reports that come in, he had an MRI, I think on Monday, and it came back as nothing serious, just minor shoulder injury that he should be healed up by the end of the month or something like that.
No, that's good.
So I think they're looking for a good fight for him, probably sometime in the summertime, maybe even before that. But Johnny Walker, I mean, he's fresh blood, exciting fighter in the light heavyweight division. I mean, what'd you make of him, man?
I'm starting to be a big fan of his.
Yeah,
Not only is he an exciting fighter, but his entrances and his everything he does is really entertaining. He's almost like a pro wrestler in there
and it seems natural.
with all his antics. Yeah, and like he's a super nice guy, but in the cage, he's vicious. And although we haven't seen him go beyond the first round, he's long, he's tall, and he hits hard.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves a top 10 guy next, and hopefully he'll get that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good matchups for him right now. I think light heavyweight was probably the worst division in the UFC for the past couple of years, and I think
I mean,
now
now it's like exciting.
now it's exciting. You got Shogun, even you even have Shogun still in the mix. You have
It's
Ozdemir,
crazy.
yeah. You have Gustafsson. You have Anthony Smith, John Jones. You have Johnny Walker. You have Jimmy Manua. You have Latifi. You have like
Mix
you
of
name it.
guys.
There's a bunch of nobody that's on John's level.
But it makes it interesting.
But it makes it interesting because, or even Anthony Hernandez is another one, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
He's another young, big light heavyweight. So you got a lot of young prospects and some seasoned veterans in the mix, and they're all still well within their prime or not even entered their prime yet.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that he should be next for Jones. I think Walker
Nah,
had
I
said,
think
"Give
it's
me
too much for him.
bones."
No.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think they should build him up slowly. I think why kill the momentum?
Yeah.
This guy can be a big star. Feed him guys with name, but guys who are beatable. I think
Yeah.
John Jones is just murk him right now.
Yeah.
He needs that experience. He needs to fight a fight that's going to go through some adversary.
Yeah. Too much too soon. I'd probably give him maybe a Jimmy Manoa, um, maybe even a Shogun.
Hmm.
Or like a Blackowitz, somebody like within the top 10, top 5 range. I hear they're talking about going for Gustafsson. I hear they're targeting Gustafsson.
It's not a bad fight.
It's not a bad fight. I wouldn't mind it. I mean,
I see
think,
Walker beating him.
yeah, it's hard to say with Walker because he finishes his fight so quick. And even he says that he wants to gain experience and get tested. Like he wants to get tested. So it's like, I don't know. I haven't seen much of him to like. I mean, he basically he threw one shot this entire fight, and even in his last fight, landed like I think like 1 or 2 punches. And I mean, it really didn't do a whole lot.
I think it was an also flying knee.
Yeah, or like a spinning back kick. Or I don't
Something
remember
like that, huh?
something like that. Yeah, I like him, man. He's a tall, long, really dynamic, athletic guy.
And you need a tall guy to go against Jones because
Yeah.
Jones would pick you apart with his length.
Yeah, what's interesting is that the division, Gustafsson used to be like one of the tallest guys in the division, and not so much anymore. I think a lot of guys are, Thiago Santos is in there.
Oh yeah,
So you got a lot of big light heavyweights. Like it used to be like he
I
was the
think that's
biggest
next
one.
for Jones is Santos.
I think Thiago Santos, yeah. That's what I hear. So that was a great fight, great showing for Johnny Walker. I mean, hopefully he heals up soon, takes it easy, cuts out all this, post fight antics. His last one was even worse. I'm spreading he didn't blow out a knee on his last celebration. This one so simple, and this is what got him. It's like it's crazy.
Just like do like a fire up pose or something.
Yeah, just raise your hand. Just do. I don't know. Just wave to the crowd. I mean, keep it simple, man. Then you had in the main event, you had Zabit Magomedsharipov defeating Jeremy Stevens. That was a unanimous decision. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the fight?
I thought it was a closer fight than I anticipated it to be.
Yeah.
I did score for Zabit all the rounds. I can see it not being a unanimous decision, but I did score it for Zabit. Jeremy Stevens impressed me. He looked really calm and there and really he was really picking his shots, but he looked great. I think he was pressing forward and he was doing things the right way. I think Zabit was just a hair better that night, and it's a great one for Zabit. I don't know where Jeremy Stevens goes from here, going 0-2.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he did lose his last fight to Jose Aldo, and he talked about the troubles after that fight mentally, and then he goes into this fight, fights pretty much the top prospect of the division, and makes it close. I mean, from my standpoint, watching the fight as closely as I did, I mean, I obviously you just watch it on TV, maybe you miss certain things, but I thought the first round was close. Um, I could have possibly probably gave it to Zabit because he maybe landed more backpedaling and like really was able to get more shots off where he had Stevens kind of chasing him around.
Mm.
Um, so I could see him maybe getting edging that first round. I think he definitely took the second, I would say,
Mm.
and then the third, I would have made it actually pretty close. And in my head, I probably give it to Stevens in the third. So
Yeah, I mean,
because I remember him landing a little bit more in the third, and I don't remember Sabit really getting too much off in the third, from what I remember. But I have to watch it again. But I thought it was close. I thought it could have went either way. I didn't think it was going to be a unanimous. I thought it might be a split. And for me, it depended on who they scored the first round for. So I thought that was like one apiece, but we'll see. But
yeah,
that's what it was. That was what Zabit got it. So
it was a great fight though.
yeah, I don't think Zabit gained a whole lot of fans from that fight. Like I don't think people left that fight and were all like, okay, this guy's a world beater. You know what I mean? Like I
No,
thought
no, I agree.
I don't think he impressed,
No, if anything,
which is hard to do against
yeah,
Stevens anyway. But
yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, I think Stevens actually impressed more fighting the top prospect and
Hmm.
him being a veteran and really taking it to him. And
Yeah, maybe the UFC doesn't book Zabi or it doesn't put that skyrocket on his back. I think they're gonna book him with someone maybe above a number above him
yeah,
for his next fight. But
somewhere
Jeremy
in the
Stevens at
range.
0-2, and maybe give him someone that's beatable, but that's kind of hard to say in that division. But
I mean, I think he'll be okay. I think if they get whatever they match him up with, I think he'll be fine. But I don't think he's gonna really go against another top prospect. I don't know. I think Zabit's probably the biggest one in the division anyway. Especially tall. It was his elusiveness that really made it an issue. Pedro Munoz defeating Cody Garbrandt by
jeez,
knockout in the first round. 4 minutes and 52 seconds of the first round. And I mean, I don't know what you want to say about this. It's Cody's gone 3-0 now. Two to
0-3.
Dillashaw, 0-3. Two to Dillashaw, one to Pedro Munoz, and knocked out both times. Really, it was just Cody throwing all game planning out of the window and just slugging it out with Pedro Munoz. And Pedro, I haven't seen that much of Pedro, but Pedro freaking impressed the hell out of me because he was quick, he was powerful, short, and just like explosive. I mean, the guy's no joke. Pedro's no joke.
Yeah, I, I mean, it's crazy to see Cody being an undefeated fighter, fighting for the bout, winning the bout. His first title defense, he loses, and he hasn't won a fight since winning the belt, which
Yeah,
is kind of crazy. All three fights via knockout. It's just it's typical Cody. He gets gun happy and he hurts his opponent, and then he wants to like stay in the pocket and bang it out. And whenever he does that, he always gets knocked out because he leaves his chin open.
yep.
He doesn't defend himself. He doesn't. He just wants to go in there and maybe being knocked out his past previous fights. Maybe I think maybe his chin has
Yeah.
gotten weaker. But I blame a lot of it on the coaching staff. Maybe I don't know. It just seemed like they have a really basic
Game
game
plan.
plan, and then Cody doesn't even listen to him. He does his own thing. But if you look at the all three knockouts, he always gets knocked out because of this for the same reason.
Hmm.
It just he wants to just bang it out, and he always gets the worst of the stick.
I think is that they're relying too much on his power. Is that
I
what they're doing?
I think Cody goes down a lot in the rankings.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough for him. He's gonna climb back. He has a long ways to go in terms of climbing back up. But it's like he had that amazing, brilliant performance against Dominic Cruz, and then he gets close to defeating TJ in the first fight. You could chalk it up that to a fluke, whatever. They redo the fight, and he gets just destroyed in the second fight, and then comes into this fight and it seemed like he almost had like no game plan. Just I'm gonna just wing it. I'm gonna try to slug it out, take it to him, and hopefully I can knock him out quick. Like almost no respect for Pedro. Like it
Yeah,
was.
but he
So
always gets caught in those moments.
yeah, and he's gone out almost the exact same way. Right? It's
Exact
like,
same punch almost too.
yeah,
You can say the exact same punch, but yeah, I don't know where Cody goes from here. I
you
don't know.
you have to regroup, reset, and I say he's got to go back to that mentality of like I'm fighting Dominic Cruz every fight. Like
Yeah,
game plan, footwork, pick your shots. I mean, he's
and,
got the talent.
yeah, and I think Pedro just kind of goes up.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
sucks for
knocking out.
him? What sucks for him is that the division's kind of clogged.
Yeah, that's true. But beating a former champ, because
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably top 10 now,
It,
for sure.
my guess is probably going to be Marias and Pedro Munoz next,
Yeah,
because I mean, obviously with Cejudo and DJ or TJ fighting, most likely that's what's gonna the next for them. That title's on hold for now.
yeah,
So those two are the top prospects. Yeah, that's a matchup you have to make, I think.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks for Cody. I don't know where he goes from here, but that's what happens when you play with fire, I guess. And next on the card, you had Willie Zhang defeating Tisha Torres by unanimous decision. This is her Chinese fighter, first Chinese female in the top 10. And you had Tisha Torres. Obviously, she's a top. What weight class are they? Is it bantamweight?
I believe so.
Tiny tornado. I think it's bantamweight. Why am I like strawweight? I'm sorry, strawweight. But they are fit. They are like CrossFit girls, man. They Willie Zhang was they're in shape, I would say. Tisha Torres, I think she was one of those fighters I think always looked amazing like on film training, but just never really translated into the octagon. Even though her losses are really only to the top of the division. But Willie Zhang not getting an easy one in Tisha Torres and coming out on top, his decision.
Yeah, it just seems that whenever Tisha Torres fights, it's always the same fight from her.
It kind of is, yeah.
And you kind of project what she's going to do. But with this, in this fight, it just seemed like she was like, she didn't want to pull the gun.
Yeah.
It just seemed like she was like, usually she's pretty light on her feet. It just seemed like she wasn't that light on her feet in this fight. And she just seemed like she couldn't get into rhythm. And unfortunately for her, she lost the fight because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And Willie Zhang is a tough cookie, man. She is she's not shy about taking it to people. I mean, she defeated Jessa Aguilar by armbar, and then she defeated Danielle Taylor by unanimous decision. Her first fight was back in last year in I think August. That's what I'm saying here. And actually the Dillashaw Garbrandt 2 fight. She's a tiny girl, man, but she packs a punch and she's not shy. She's aggressive, man. She actually impressed a lot of people, and I think people look to her to take somebody else in the top 5 in that division at least.
Mm.
And then we get to the people's main event. I think this was Ben Askren and Robbie Lawler. Let's get to this one. Okay, so Ben Askren defeating Robbie Lawler via submission. It was a bulldog choke in the first round. 30 minutes and 20 seconds of that first round. Very controversial finish. Herb Dean was the referee. You give your take on the thing. You go first.
First, I was really impressed with Robbie Lawler. The first.
Yeah, he looked great.
First minute of that fight, I thought for sure Robbie Lawler was going to finish him. Yeah. Kudos to Askren. He withstood the adversity and he got up, and there in that scramble did he get the choke on the scramble? I don't remember, but he eventually got the bulldog choke.
Eventually, yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I right away, like everyone else, thought that it was a bullshit call and that he was never out. Especially because the way Robbie Lawler got up right away and contested, some that get choked out kind of stays on the ground or they're kind of disorientated.
Yeah. Robbie
Lawler did it. It seemed like he knew what was going on and he was really upset. so seeing his reaction kind of made me side with him and say, well, this is a bad call.
Yeah.
Um, then I hear and read reports that some people are saying that he was out. I don't know. There's like people were talking about different angles.
Yeah.
I never saw those angles, so I can't really give my 100% take on the fight. I just saw the angle that I saw, and it seemed like he wasn't out, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to believe. I just think that Askren looked good because I mean he went through all that
That
adversity and he
yeah.
came on top. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. I think this is a decision that some people will love and some people hate.
Do you think he was out?
At first I thought he was out. Yeah, because I was watching it and I was watching with other people and I think afterwards, once the fight was over, people were like, "Oh, he wasn't out." But at the time, I thought he was because if you see he gets him in the bulldog choke and let's start with the beginning of the fight and I thought Robbie Lawler was gonna freaking destroy Ben Askren, not because I thought Ben Askren was gonna lose, but just because of how good that Robbie looked. He looked amazing. Now, from the angle that I saw, and watching it, and other people thought it, and even myself, I was like, okay, maybe he wasn't out. The only reason I thought he was out at the time of the fight itself, while it was going on, was when he ended up getting the bulldog choke. He I don't know. You had Robbie on his knees, and then he had his arm that was up behind Ben Askren's head, and then all of a sudden his arm just flops down, and that's when I'm like, oh shit, he's out. And then you see Herb Dean is checking him, and he shakes his hand a little bit, and then he I think he calls the fight. Now, if you listen to Ben Askren's all like, yeah, he called out for Robbie to respond, and Robbie didn't respond, and then the arm fell, and then he goes to check on the arm, but I think Robbie like flailed it up a little bit like this, and if you see the frame, he has a thumb up, but by that time he was kind of waving it off already. I think it was a little too soon. I think he could have held on to it a little bit longer, and I think I wouldn't call it a bullshit call because at the time, seeing what I saw and seeing the angle, we were like Herb Dean's angle, looking straight at them, it looked like he went out. Just because, I mean, unless Robbie was just playing dead and wanted to make it seem like he was out and maybe to loosen Askren's grip, and then he can spring out of it. But I from the angle that it was televised at, it looked like he was out for at least a second, and maybe regained composure, just from a little bit of oxygen that went back to his head. Who knows? Or maybe he was just never out the entire at all.
Who knows? But I mean, Dana said that he's going to redo it. Askren wants the winner of Till and Masvidal. I don't know. I want to see Askren fight Till. I think that fight has the heat already going on, and I think it's a great fight. I think, as much as I love Robbie Lawler, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of, because I'm like I wasn't upset with the call. I can see them how you can think of either way. He went out for at least a second, or he was never out the entire at all. And I mean, we've seen it before where somebody gets knocked out or somebody gets caught with a punch or submitted, and then they bounce right back up.
Yeah. And also too, like Herb Dean's reaction, he apologized to Lawler, and that doesn't look good.
No, he's,
that makes you think that he wasn't out. He made him. He's pretty much saying, "I made a mistake." Yeah.
But at the time, if you're looking at what the ref has to do and aside on the side of caution, era, and look out for the safety of the fighter. If I was, I think Herb stepped in a little bit too soon to stop it. But I can see why he made the call.
Yeah. I mean,
because whose hand really goes when they flop, and he flopped like with the palm up, like and quick, like almost he went out.
I mean, regardless, it was an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
Because of the impact of that fight and the anticipation of that fight.
Yeah.
It
No.
sucks the way it went out, and I'm just
Yeah.
I feel bad for Robbie Lawler. I was gunning for him to win, but we need to move on.
Yeah. Now the reason again why I thought he was gonna win was just how good he looked. He looked mean. He looked like in shape. He looked good. So like this is not gonna be an easy fight for Askren. And I think even when they made the trade, like I wasn't too high on the trade because I felt like you can get long term wise, you could get more out of DJ than you could out of Askren, but Askren was like that short term.
I mean, true,
Kinda
but
guy.
DJ wanted it out.
DJ wanted out, but then
So-
seeing Askren,
It was either because it was either going to be DJ leaving
Yeah.
and the Houston not getting nothing in return, or getting at least
Yeah.
Askren.
and they got Askren, and you can, and what I admire about Askren is that he's kind of calling out Usman, but not really. Like he's okay with fighting the contenders,
Yeah,
which I
I think this fight exposed Askren. Like I don't see nothing good coming out of Askren after this fight.
No.
He barely won this fight.
he barely won.
And he fought an aged Robbie Lawler.
Yeah,
And so can you imagine he fights a top 5 guy? There's no way in hell.
I think size wise is a big factor, because it's
You can't rely on your wrestling with these guys
No.
in the UFC. They can work in Bellator and it can work on one, but here in the UFC,
yeah. Like I never thought that Askren was going to do a great job against the top 5, if that top. I thought he was going to have trouble with the top 10, and because of just how many striker wrestlers there are, and how many like big guys there are, I thought he was going to be oversized, outmatched.
especially at 170, was just a row of just killer wrestlers. In that division.
And we saw a little bit with Robbie, where Robbie, I mean, the way how he dropped him was just insane, and
the slam and everything.
The slam, I thought he might have been out with just a slam alone, but toughness to Askren, just fucking, he didn't give up and ended up getting the takedown.
And in other promotions, he never got hit. In the UFC, his first fight, he gets
beat up
bad.
Yeah. Do I need to see the fight again? I don't.
No.
Can I accept that he won? Yeah. Did it look good for him? Yes and no. It showed his toughness. It showed his skill.
Mm.
Did it show that he has weaknesses, that he's vulnerable? Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Which we kind of thought anyway.
There isn't any much closure on this fight.
No, there isn't.
But whatever.
Like, do we need? I don't know.
I don't need to see it again.
No, I don't.
The build up, it was kind of boring. It was all Askren.
Yeah, it was all Askren. I don't.
And Askren doesn't want to fight. I mean, he didn't want to fight Lawler to begin with.
Yeah, like
so, to have him sign on the dotted line again,
have to go through all that again. It's almost like I hate it. I don't like it when we don't need it.
Especially like a rematch with no title implicated. There's no point in it.
And yeah, it was an early call, but I wouldn't call it a shitty call. I think it was an early stoppage, and
I can live with that.
I could live with it. I don't know, and I like the fact that he might fight Masvidal or Till. I'm interested in that even more. It's a fresh matchup.
Yeah.
But Ben Askren, I think he's a. Fuck, I don't know, man. He's definitely probably he's gonna be at least within the MMA bubble and the UFC bubble. He'll be a star. I don't know. He's just like
no. I mean, I think
he's already a star in the MMA hardcores.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think
he's such a great talker. Man.
I think Ariel
he stole the show this week.
Yeah, Ariel was saying that from Woodley, Jones, even Holloway and Poirier. That fight we announced. Ariel was saying that all the Ben Askren videos were going like 4 million viewers.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
He's like literally. I think he's like the new Chael in a lot of ways. He talks like Chael. He fights like Chael. He probably has less striking ability than Chael, but he's just like a smaller version of Chael. And it's like he's got the mouth to back it up, and he's got the skills and the resume to kind of back it up. I mean, he's not going to have an easy time though, but it's going to be difficult for him.
Yeah, good luck for in his next fight.
And Till's a big boy, and let's say Till wins against Masvidal. Any of those fights that's a tough matchup. I can see him wrestling them. I mean, they both have.
I can see Askren beating Till actually,
and Masvidal, because Masvidal's a little bit closer in size, and they both don't have great wrestling.
Till's like, he's long and those limbs are just acceptable for takedowns.
Yeah,
And then
I
after
know.
just eat him alive.
I know Till's
Uh,
big, but yeah, he's got holes. He's got
yeah,
holes. Yeah.
and wrestling's one of them.
Yep. We go with the co-main event. Kamaru Usman defeating Tyron Woodley to win the welterweight title. I don't think anybody expected it to go this way. Um, I- was I impressed by Usman? Yes, I thought he did an amazing job. I was just impressed by his game plan. Tying him up and
Body
just
shots after body
yeah,
shot.
just he just stayed active the entire time. I thought that was smart, which a lot of guys don't do. And it's not like he did anything crazy. He didn't do anything flashy.
Yeah,
What
you're
did he
right.
what did he do that was like unseen
It
before?
was
No, we never.
very basic, but the most impressive thing that he did in that fight was to convince not only the judges but the crowd that it was a dominant
Oh, it
performance.
was dominant. It was dominant. But it was is Usman that good and what he brings to the table that unstoppable, or did Woodley just not show up?
I think Willie didn't show up. I think he dropped his record the day after, which is no, 2 days after Monday. He
Yeah,
dropped his album. I think Usman, yeah, it was a great story. I mean, he's the first Nigerian champion in the UFC.
big guy,
Big guy.
huge.
He dominated Woodley, but do I see him defend that title? I don't.
I don't either. I don't know.
But
I think he's got the
I
wrestling to back it up, which goes a long way. You can
yeah,
win a title defense or two with that.
but I think the biggest loser is Woodley because all that heat with him and Dana, he's not going to get a title rematch.
No.
And
And the way he lost.
yeah, and then I think people in the company didn't like Woodley, so good luck getting a title fight
Yeah.
ever again.
It's sad for Woodley. I mean, he just really didn't show up from the opening bell. Like he would just looked.
Yeah, he looked horrible.
He looked horrible. I've never seen anybody like a champion, a long time dominant champion, just not show up. Like does he? I think he threw 37 punches or 37.
Yeah, I think
strikes?
it was worse than
If that.
than the Maya fight.
Yeah, it was just it was flat. There was no energy. No, I mean you could chalk it up to maybe Usman's game plan of pressing him and pushing him back, and maybe
Even his wrestling wasn't there.
even at wrestling, jiu-jitsu, nothing was there. He got mounted. He almost got knocked out. Like it was just not. It was the worst performance I think we've seen from a champion ever.
Yeah, I think for the contender getting a 10-8 round.
Yeah,
against
two
the
10-8
champion,
rounds. I think
it's crazy.
it was. Yeah, I think they even asked Dana like, what were you most surprised or about? Like, was it or what stood out to you most? Was it Usman's performance or was it Woodley's performance? And they said Woodley's performance because he was like, "You're the longtime champion. You talked all this stuff like you're better than this kid, but you did like nothing in the fight. Like you didn't show up at all. Like it was just like." And I mean, Woodley is 37 years old, which I didn't realize he was that old. And then he's got a record. He's doing concert shows.
Where's TMZ?
He's on TMZ. He's doing press.
Why fight?
I don't know. I think he should fight because that's a horrible fight to go out on. And I think he's young enough still to like. But the fire is not there. I think maybe too many distractions finally caught up with him. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think the saddest part of this whole thing is that Willie believes in his heart that he's gonna get that rematch. That's the saddest thing.
No, they were talking about Kobe getting it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like after that casino brawl.
Yeah,
at the Palms, and then I think Kobe Covington is like banned for life.
Yeah, I think he is too. But Woodley did absolutely nothing in that fight, and normally I think they would go on the side of the champion. But the fact that he absolutely didn't show up in the entire 25 minutes, I mean, there's no reason for it, and especially with his relationship with the UFC already, it's done. Usman, I'd say, when you look at the rest of the division, we'll see how good he is when it stacks up against the other contenders: Kobe Covington, Darren Till, Masvidal. Like I think he kind of squeaked by, even though he's still kind of dominated Maya. But it's going to be interesting with him and Kobe Covington because I think if you're basing off their last fights, Kobe and and Usman both fought Maya, and Colby Covington, I think, dominated more and pressed more, I think, in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
If he takes that same performance and takes it over to Usman, that's going to be an amazing fight
Mhm.
because they got similar styles. So I think we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just terrible performance at Tyron Woodley. I really don't know if he even has the drive or the fire in him to start back up and fight contenders that most of them he already beat.
Mhm.
I, I don't know.
It's crazy.
I don't know where he goes, man. I don't know how long it's. I don't know. He might even retire. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires. Fuck it, just to retire
Yeah, right. Yeah,
after a performance like that and having to fight guys you already beat. And what do
it
you
won't
even?
happen. I think he wants that title fight, but a
Yeah,
title fight that he won't get for sure.
yeah, not right away at least. And then you had the main card, Jones versus Smith,
The main event.
main event. I'm sorry. Um, Solid win by Jones. Looked dominant. Started to pick up the pace early in like the second or third, and just kind of just rode out the rest of the fight. Came close to getting another disqualification loss on his record with the knee, but kudos to Smith, hung in there, toughed it out, and showed it how he was meant to be there. And all the
The naysayers.
the naysayers can
I mean, the
were
fact that
wrong.
he went on 5 rounds with John Jones is impressive, considering that no one gave him a chance in this fight.
Yeah,
Um, I don't think I've ever seen a fighter get deducted 2 points in a fight before. I think it's the first time that I've actually seen someone get 2 points
especially
taken
like right
away.
away, like in the first like
Yeah.
deduction. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, kudos to Anthony Smith for hanging in there. Like he could have easily, faked an injury or whatever, and not be able to continue to fight and win the belt, but he didn't. He manned up and he took a beating like a man. But I think he still looked great coming out as far as his gritness and toughness. I mean, but John Jones is John Jones, and I mean the outcome is not surprising.
yeah. Let me check the thing. Yeah, and yeah, I enjoyed the fight. I thought it was a good fight. Smith looked like he was about to like get finished at certain points of the fight, and but toughed it out. There was one point where I think John was on his knees and just swinging at Smith. I was like, oh my god! Like, I thought he was gonna like start disrespecting him badly, but that was bad enough. But John looked great, man. He looked probably better than he did I think in the Gus fight.
Yeah, I agree.
He looked in better shape, and I mean showed that he's a dominant force in that division, and he will be for a long time. And we'll see where he goes from here. I think Thiago Santos is possibly what's next for him, probably like in late spring. That's a good fight. That's going to be a really, really good fight. I think Santos was the last person to beat Smith in middleweight before they both moved up. Smith, where he goes from here, I don't know. You could give Smith anybody really. I mean, he's good to where you could give him if Walker doesn't get Gus, you could give Smith Gus. You could give Johnny Walker Ozdemir. You could do whatever.
Yeah, I mean that division is pretty spaced out. Where
Yeah.
I think everyone's in the same kind of level in the top 10.
Yeah. You can match them up wherever. I think the fight was good. I think they both came out with their heads held high. They both look good. And I'm excited to see both of them come fight next. I think Jones wants to fight at least 2 more times this year. So get more John Jones. As long as he stays clean and healthy, and that's clean enough and healthy. So that was 235. Great card, great solid card. If you purchased it, yeah, you got your money's worth on that one, which you can't say that all the time nowadays. This weekend, you got a great card. You have one championship. You had a couple of fights. You have one championship has a great card. I think on Friday night, you have Cage Warriors 103. That's on UFC Fight Pass. That's Saturday. And you have ESPN 4 Lewis versus Santos on ESPN Plus. +4. I'm sorry. Undercards, not that bad. You had Anthony Martin, Sergio Moraes. You have Yana Kuniskaya versus Mary Renault. Those are the co-main and main for the prelim card on ESPN Plus. Who else? You have Louis Smoke on the card. I think there's Zach Ottawa on the card. I think Louis Smoke. Did he get cut by the UFC and then now he's back? I guess.
I believe so. Yeah.
And then you have the main card: Tim Bosch versus Amari Akhmedov. Not familiar with Amari, but Tim Bosch is obviously he always does great. He has great fights. Benil Dariush, Drew Dober, great card, great fight right there. That's a pretty interesting matchup right there. The return of Ben Rothwell versus Blagoy Ivanov. Tim Means versus Nico Price, which is a great matchup right there. Elizu Dos Santos versus Curtis Millender, which is a great fight right there in the co-main event. And in the main event, Derrick Lewis versus Junior Dos Santos. This matchup kind of snuck up on me. I almost kind of forgot about it. Mm-hmm. This is in Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita was last night.
They were last night? Yeah. They, in terms of the heavyweight division, these two are somewhere in the top.
I think top 5.
Top 5, definitely. And potentially next in line for like a title shot or at least a number 1 contender. This could be a number 1 contender fight right here. Derrick Lewis, I think coming off of his victory over, what is it? Who did he fight? Oh, right. I mean, he lost to Daniel Cormier, but that was right after he beat Alexander Volkov. This was end of last fall. And Junior Dos Santos coming off a couple of wins against Blagoy Ivanov. Ivanov, I think, was from WSOF, and he's on this card too. He was their heavyweight champ over there. And then he defeated Taya Tuivasa by TKO. Not that long ago, actually. So these two are coming off wins. Well, obviously not Derrick Lewis, but this matchup. What do you think? Because Derrick Lewis, I think, in terms of the favorite, I think Junior Dos Santos is a favorite. Which before seeing the odds, I would have, in my mind, him actually be the favorite. And I think a lot of people, based on Lewis's track record, I think expected him to be the favorite. But I'm not surprised that Junior is the favorite in this fight.
No, I'm not. I'm picking Lewis just because.
You're picking Lewis?
Dos Santos, his chin isn't as good as it once was, mm-hmm. And it just takes one shot, whether it be the first, second, or third round, he's gonna hurt you. And I just see JDS getting knocked out in this fight.
This is a good matchup, yeah, because I mean, for Derrick Lewis, I don't think he's looked that great in like his last victories, and he's kind of squeaked by in a lot of ways. And Junior actually starting to look like old Junior, putting together combinations and looking pretty good. I would hope that he continues that streak. I'm going with Junior on this one. I think he can at least avoid the big shot for majority of the fight, if not, and come out with the victory. I don't see Derrick Lewis getting a whole lot off on this fight and probably eating a lot of body shots, and just kind of getting slowly picked apart if he ends up having performances like he did against Ngannou and Volkov and all that stuff. So, but again, he does have that one punch type of like knockout power. Yeah. So, he could easily just, knock out Junior. So, but this is a great, solid card. Definitely worth your time, and definitely worth at least a subscription right there for ESPN Plus, because they got 3 upcoming cards all on ESPN Plus, and at $5 a month, I think it's the best money bang for your buck. Because I think we talked about, we had DAZN for a little bit. I think I used it once throughout the entire time, and really I know they're signing people and they're signing promotions and all that stuff, but there's not a whole lot of content on there that is weekly. You could go almost an entire month of really even using the app. Whereas ESPN Plus, there's something there at any given time, which is not is it ESPN's content or a UFC fight
Yeah,
night every week. So it's like,
that's true.
and it's cheaper too. So I think it's the best deal going on right now. That's our show for the week. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, maybe we'll try to get a guest on here. We
Yeah.
haven't had one for a while, but we're almost we almost got Garrett Davis.
Yeah,
Get Davies.
yeah.
Um, big
Hopefully.
MMA journalist to the stars. Maybe we'll try to get him on next week. I think scheduling wise, we couldn't get him on.
Yeah.
But go to the MMAComplex.com.
Yeah, but our shirt's there. You can
Yep.
listen. Yeah, we're wearing it right now. $20 and get this beautiful T-shirt here. If you listen on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and help the show get noticed. You can follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all under one name, the MMA Complex. I'm kind of excited for next week's main event. I mean, this Saturday's main event with Derrick Lewis and Dos Santos.
Mm-hmm.
Josh and I will be back next week to break it all down. So until then, enjoy your week and enjoy the fights.